I feel like crap. I mean, like a lot of us do, at least once a month, if you catch my drift. So please just have me excused. I'm doing my best, okay? I'm doing my best out here. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Charlotte and today it's wrap up time. I'm going to be wrapping up June and July because June I barely got to read because, I was about to say I accidentally got married, but it was actually planned, okay? It wasn't an accident at all. It was planned. And then, July is like the big vacation month in Norway. August, people get back to school, usually get back to work. Our vacation is kind of early, while I feel like the rest of Europe has their vacation kind of late. For us, at least. And yeah, so I didn't get to do that much reading in either month. So I just decided that I was just going to make one wrap up that wraps up both of the months. Speaking is my second language. So yeah, we're just gonna jump on into it, I think. Yes, I look. Okay, I hate it here. Whatever, it's fine. But the first book we're going to jump on into is Heartless by Elsie Silver. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. This one is about Cade and Willa. It's single dad. Don't really need to know more. It's single dad. He's grumpy. She's sunshine. I do remember I really enjoyed the banter. But the thing is that this is the first book I finished in June. And I can't really remember much about it other than that. Which also kind of says something about the story. Like the Rose Hill series by Elsie Silver, I can tell you a lot about it. This series just hasn't sparked the same joy for me, but maybe it's because I really enjoyed the Rose Hill series. This one just doesn't hit the same, which is fine. It's completely fine. We don't all have to enjoy the same things all the time, but I am having fun. I gave it a 3.5 stars because I did have fun. I did enjoy the banter. I always enjoy a good single dad. And from what I can remember, Willa is Summer's friend from the first book. But to be fair, I had to Google. I literally had to Google when I started reading it who the couple from the first book was and why they were talking about a gym because I could not remember. Yeah, that's how memorable this series is for me, which is sad because, like I said, I really enjoyed the Rose Hill series. And I am excited for her new series, but maybe that's just it. Because I read the newer series first, and this one is an older series. The writing develops, they find more of their writing style. Maybe they find a different way they want to get humor through the book, which just happens to work better with my sense of humor, if you know what I mean. It's a good book. It's a fun series. I'm going to keep on reading the series. It's just not that memorable for me afterwards, sadly. But yeah, 3.5 stars for the first book of June. And then I had some Kindle reads, like just bang all the way through. And the first one is Till Summer Do Us Part by Megan Quinn. I read it I started it the day it came out. I loved the concept of this book, which basically is about the FMC lies to her boss about being married. The reason she hasn't talked about her husband is because they're going through a rocky phase. And she's like, well, thank you, Chad, for, ratting me out. We're actually going through a rocky phase. I don't really know if this is going to work out. So that's why I haven't talked about him. And they're like, oh my God, but I know the best couples therapist. And she's like, oh, you do? You do? Oh, well, I think we're past couples therapy. And they're like, no, you have to try it. She's like, where do I find someone to be my fake husband by tomorrow? You meet the MMC, and he's like a little quirky, a little all over the place, very happy-go-lucky type of person. Then not built the same, but they don't know each other. So they literally go to couples therapy without knowing each other, trying to see if they can spin this through. So yeah, they end up going to couples counseling camp. It's a lot of fun. I had fun reading it. Did I enjoy, have I enjoyed other Megan Quinn books more? Yes, I had. I think I had just very high expectations because of the whole going to therapy when you don't know, trying to trick a therapist into thinking that you know each other, and the banter they have when they're in the therapy sessions are fantastic. I don't know. I just felt like there was something missing, something missing from the book. So I ended up giving it 3 stars all in all, just because it just didn't hit like I wanted it to, like completely how I wanted it to, you know? Then when I was done with Till Summer Do Us Part, I read the second book in the, can't remember the name of the series, but I read Caught Up. I was so excited for this one. I was ready the day it came out because Lights Out was such a funny, dark romance. I loved that book. I think it was my favorite book to read all of last year. So I'm not going to say high expectations for the book because I feel like that's kind of unfair to say, but I have different expectations to the book. I really, really did enjoy that you got to see the FMC embrace her sexuality, know what she wanted, know who she was. I also really enjoyed that you got to see the MMC explore his sexuality, figure out what he liked, and kind of embracing bigger parts of himself. Do not get me wrong, I did enjoy it. I just didn't find it as entertaining as I found the first one. I had it in my head, like a lot of other people had, that it was also going to be very funny, haha type of book. Because when you met the MMC in the first book, I did find them funny, right? So I had my expectations, and then my expectations didn't match up to the book. That's not the author's fault. It's not the book's fault. It's kind of my fault because I put expectations on something I know nothing about. You know, it's that I've put expectations on something that I wasn't supposed to put expectations on, but we do because we're human. I ended up giving it 3 stars at the end, but I did find it kind of hard to get through the book because I didn't feel like the banter was really there. I didn't really feel that type of connection. It was supposed to be a stalker romance, but the stalking had already happened when you kind of started the book. It's a little tiny bit of stalking at the start. Then it's like completely gone. I don't really feel like that's stalking anymore because, I mean, they hang out. So, you know, I mean, you can stalk someone you're hanging out with, do not get me wrong, but he doesn't stalk her. You can hear that like he's done all of this stuff to help her kind of in her career, but it doesn't really feel like it has anything to say on their relationship. So like the parts I did enjoy when it comes to exploring your sexuality, being secure in your sexuality, figuring out all of these dynamics, loved it, 10 out of 10. But I just felt like there was something a little bit lacking. And I do have a theory in my head on why it kind of ended up the way it ended up, but I'm not going to put it out to the universe because if I'm wrong, I don't want to start a rumor that's completely off balance. So that's my dog drinking, by the way, if you can hear him. So I gave it 3 stars. Not the best start to like my reading month. That might also be kind of why I had a hard time keeping up with the reading. But then I went over to Fated Thrones, which is the 6th book in the Zodiac Academy series. We're not going to talk much about it because it's Zodiac Academy. I feel like there's so many videos on it. There's so many TikToks about it, like the Twisted Sisters, all of that stuff. Everybody knows. I feel like everybody knows. It's a bully romance. It's fae. It's enemies to lovers. It's student professor. It's princesses. It's princess. It's being secure in who you are. Yes, I give it 5 stars. I loved it. I loved the book. Loved it. I remember thinking it was a little bit too long, but that's usually a me problem, not a book problem. Because sometimes I'm like, okay, come on, let's get a move on. I feel like we don't need this part of the story. Other people might eat it up and be like, oh my god, I need more of this. So it's a personal preference. It has nothing to do with the book per se. But I do remember when I was done with the book being like, okay, I need a little break. I need a little break from this universe. I need a little break from this series because I don't know how this is going to keep on going for like 4 more books. I don't know how it's going to keep on going for like 4 more books. I gave it 5 stars, like I said, because up until this point, I adored the series. Like the series was a 5-star series for me. So that's where we're gonna, that's where we're gonna leave Zodiac Academy at this point. Then I hung out with Hudson and Madeline. This is my all-time favorite series. This is my all-time favorite sports romance series. It has officially gone past the Windy City series. I know, it's shocking. This one is single mom and she's a chef and he is on the hockey team, the DC Stars, and he needs somebody to work for him and help him out with all the food stuff without trying to sell his underwear online, basically, because every single person he has tried to hire has either tried tricking him into sleeping with them, or they tried selling his underwear. You know, they've tried making extra money on the side, if you catch my drift, by invading his privacy. Madeline works at a restaurant in Vegas. It's like a Michelin, the car thingy, the tire thingy, you know? It has one of those, I think. Somebody buys it, and when they buy it, they're like, hey, we want a clean slate. We're going to rehire every single person. She meets Piper in book 2 and just like, oh, fuck it. She said like, I'm gonna call. And she ends up interviewing to be his private chef, and that's how they ended up, you know, working together, basically. She also has a daughter that is deaf. I loved the way this book, well, I love the way she writes children, not because she's deaf. Like, I didn't think twice about that, but the way she writes kids just makes it a little bit more fun. A lot of people, when you read like a single mom or a single dad book, the kids just feel like they're kind of in the way. It didn't feel like that in this one. I really, really did enjoy it. I have to say, I had a little bit of a hard time getting through this one as well, but I think that was because I read it very close to my wedding. I had just read a lot of books that I had a hard time getting through the Zodiac Academy book. I think I was just overwhelmed. I don't think it was on the book. I literally think it was on me. And that might also be the thing with Zodiac Academy. It might have been me just not being fully there. So yeah, but this is I loved it. I loved it so much, to the point where I went, and even though I read them on my Kindle, I went and got every single one of them as physical copies because I wanted them on my shelf. And I've been better at doing that. So I love it. This is my favorite one. It's my favorite. No, this isn't my favorite one in the series, but it's my favorite series right now. So yeah, if you do enjoy a hockey romance, you don't mind kids in books, like I said, the kid in this one, it feels like the kid is adding something to the story. It doesn't feel like the kid is in the way, which it often feels like they are. This one is also like the slowest of burns. It takes for fucking ever for them to even do anything. But I liked it. It did add to the story. It added it to be a little bit more authentic. It has a little bit of a time jump, all of that fun stuff. And I adored it. I adore them all. I can't wait to read the rest of the series. Because that was the books I read in July. That was my June book. That was all the books I read in June. Then the first book I actually read on vacation was Bear Town. This is just the Norwegian cover, but it's Bear Town. Bear Town by Fredrik Backman. And at first I was a little bit confused because like every paragraph, it feels like you meet a new person. You read it from, like you read the story from all these point of views, and it doesn't really make sense. It does make sense. At some point in the book, you kind of get, okay, this is why I'm getting all of these perspectives. This is why I meet all of these characters, and you kind of need to sort them out in your head. I didn't always do that. Sometimes I was like, wait, I met you before. And it made sense by the end anyways. I ate this shit up. I loved it so much. It takes things that happen in reality, you know, that one thing that you keep on thinking about, not like an embarrassing thing, not, you know, when you were like, oh my God, I was supposed to say hi, but I said hello, and oh my, not that type of thing. But when things happen in your life and you later in life, you think about it and it's like a pivotal point, you know, they take and point out those things in this book. And it made me want to throw the book into the pool because I got so irritated because like, why is it like this? Why is it like this? But I haven't told you anything about the book is about, so I'm going to tell you right now. Bear Town is a hockey town. Bear Town was known for hockey. It had a very good team. Something happened, blah, 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 blah. Now they're not that good. They're building up a new team again, hoping that they can get a hockey school to settle in their town. But they have to kind of win the junior league, and that is going to like seal the deal because they have the best hockey team of the juniors ever. the seniors. Can't remember. One of the two. They have a good hockey team. That's the point. Something happens. It's not fun to read, but it doesn't it's not explicit. So that's kind of fine, but it does have heavy themes. So if you do have certain trigger warnings, I would kind of check it out beforehand if you're thinking about reading the series. And it kind of turns everything around. The town starts being on sides. They start talking. They're like, oh yeah, you know how girls are, you know how boys are. It's so much raw emotion. It's a fantastic read. Like, if you haven't read it, I do recommend reading it. I'm gonna read more. I do want to read Anxious People by him, but I do also want to keep on reading this series. He writes fantastic books, in my humble opinion, because I've only read one of them. I had some fantastic reads, actually, because when I was done with this one on holiday, do you know what I did? I went straight on over to Hat Trick. Yes, it's the 4th book in the DC Star series. This one I was very excited about because it's about Riley and it is about Lexi. Lexi is a powerhouse of a woman, okay? I adore this woman. She's free-spirited, she's living her best life, all of the good stuff. And Riley is kind of shy. When you meet Riley in the other books, you already know. You already know that he has a crush on her. She works for the team. So for her, it's just another day at work. She is not going to get into a relationship with somebody she works for or works with. Point blank, period. Then very early on in the story, it does have time jumps, this one as well. It starts directly after the ending of the 3rd book, but something happens, and I mean, you can already see it on the cover. He is in an accident and he loses his leg. So you get to follow her, help him rehab and kind of get back to himself. So it has a darker theme than a lot of the other ones. But he is, like, out of all of them, my number 1 book boyfriend. I adore him. He is chef kiss. I don't want to tell you too much about the story because I do not want to tell you, I don't want to tell you much about their story. I don't know if that makes sense, but I loved how it kind of feels natural for her to help him. Not just because it's her job, but because she really cares. And I love how, because you already know that he has feelings for her, he kind of pushes her away because it hurts for him to be vulnerable around her. But in a weird way, it's just what she needs and it's just what he needs. So it's another 5-star. I love this series. I can't wait for the next one. I know the author has put out on Instagram who the next 3 books are about, because there's 3 more books in the series, I think. So you do get a little blurb of all of them, and I love them. I love them. Best series ever. I am so happy that I saw a random TikTok about somebody talking about the 1st book and I started reading it. Then when I was done with Hat Trick, I was like, okay, I read a romance, I read a contemporary, I read a romance. I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna actually try reading crime. So I went over to Jo Nesbø and This Is the Kingdom. Yeah, I didn't like it. It's not for me. This is not for me at all. It's about 2 brothers that live in a small town in Norway on the East Coast, if that's relevant for you. And it's about brotherly dynamic and how one of them kind of always feels like he has to protect his little brother. And the little brother is just like a free-spirited, fun-loving dude that kind of always accidentally ends in, trouble. He comes back, he wants to build a hotel and he wants the town to be investors in this hotel, because he says it's going to bring everybody a lot of money and it's going to bring the town a lot of money, and he is a mogul, but I feel like he's a fake one. Very at the start I was like, oh my god, you're faking it, aren't you? But you have to read it to figure it out. I gave it 2.5 stars. It's just not my genre. It's not my genre. I don't like it when I read that they cut open someone and they cut off their hair and they put the hair on their head to drive their car, so people think it's I don't like it. I don't like it. And it was just too graphic for me. But I mean, he's one of the best crime writers ever. Well, maybe that's just something they say in Norway. Maybe he's not, but people say that he is one of the best crime writers. So I figured if I was going to start with crime, I might start with the best, right? And I might also start in a language that I fully know, because, Norwegian is supposed to be my first language. But yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars. It just wasn't my genre. And it kind of went a little bit downhill from there, to say, because I started reading 13.57 by Penelope Douglas. And I actually DNF'd this one. I read, I want to say, I think it was 25 or 27% of this book. I did not enjoy it at all. If I'm going to read a dark romance, and this is also like a dark romance thriller type of feel, you're trying to kind of figure out a mystery that I didn't really understand. But if I'm going to read a dark romance, I do not need it to be about like 15, 16, 17-year-olds. It kind of got lost on me. I thought I was going to be able to see through it because I thought it was going to be more entertaining, but I didn't find it entertaining at all. I just found it to like just drag on for fucking ever. So I didn't enjoy it, and I DNF'd it. I'm so sorry, Penelope. Okay, but I have more books for her. So we're gonna try the other one, and then the 5 one. I did enjoy Birthday Girl. So we're gonna try a different one. We're gonna try a different one. Okay. Do you know what? This one I didn't even add it on Goodreads. I didn't even add it towards my final goal because I was like, no. We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. We're just not going to do it. Then I read Ride With Me by Simone Sultani. Is that how you pronounce it? Ride With Me by Simone Sultani. I'm so sorry if I butcher her name. I didn't mean to. This is the second book in the Lights Out series. And to be fair, for being interconnected standalones, this really feels like a standalone. You barely saw the couple from the first book, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind at all. They did tie it nicely together, so when the third book comes out, when you see the FMC from the first and second book becoming like being friends, it does make sense. But you didn't see them. Like you didn't really see them at all. This one is about Stella and it's about Thomas. Thomas is a Formula 1 driver. Stella is a baker. She runs like this high-end bakery around North America. He is English. That's important to the story. He comes from money. So the team that he drives for, one of the biggest sponsors, is his family's company, but he's still good at what he does. It's not the best team, so he's not like always on the front of the grid, which they also make a point out of. This is Marriage of Convenience, and it's an interracial couple, which I think all of her books are. I think the next one is also going to be an interracial couple. But I did like it. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy, you got to see small things that she kept pointing out in her head. She was like, oh, did he know this, or was it by accident? And you actually never get to know. You actually never get to know if it was by accident or if he really does it. But I get the feeling that this was intentional from his side. It is a slower burn, and I did feel like a part of the end could have just been an epilogue. There was part of the story I just really didn't need. But I mean, that's also a personal preference. A lot of people like it when you read lovey-dovey stories, but I don't know. It felt at the start, I was like, oh my God, I need more book. Why isn't there more book? I need more book. And then it just went really fast. And then I was like, okay, I need the book to kind of be over now because it feels like filler pages to me and my reading style. So I ended up giving this one also a 3.5. But I did enjoy it. I am going to read the rest of the series as well. I have tried reading a different Formula 1 series, which I didn't like, but this one I actually do like. And this one happens mostly off the grid. So it's mostly in the off season this one happens. And I really, really didn't mind it because, you know, they need something to do during the off season as well. Then, I mean, you might have already seen it because I do have a reading vlog out on the sports romances that I've read. I read 3 sports romances at the end of the month. The first one is The Score. I'm not going to go too deeply into it because, well, you can watch the vlog if you want to know more about it. But I read the third book in the off-campus series. It's The Score. It is about Dean and Ali. I mix up their names all the time. This is about Dean and it's about Ali. This was my favorite one so far of the off-campus series books. I love the way that Dean had personal growth. I love the way that Dean also, when he was going through the personal growth and everything, something happens and he kind of takes 15 million steps back because that's human. That's so human. It's so freaking valid, and you are allowed to have a bad day. You're allowed to have an off day. This book, in the best way possible, had an off day. So it's my favorite one out of them. It's definitely, like, I didn't like the second one. I didn't really vibe with the first one. Something made me keep on reading. Made me a little bit sad that people say that you're not supposed to read the fifth one because I would love it to just become better and better and better, but apparently it doesn't. But yeah, I gave this 4 stars. Then I went on over to Unsteady and it just made me unsteady. I DNF'd it This one I also read. Usually I go like 25% into the book. If I'm not feeling it, at all, I am just going to put it down. Either it's a soft DNF or it's a DNF. The more I think about it, this one is a DNF. I don't think I'm going to pick it back up again. I felt like she was just whiny and he was, I don't know, a pushover. It's hard to put my finger on just what it was. I just didn't really feel the dynamic in the book. I didn't feel the couple. I didn't feel the FMC. I didn't feel the MMC. And you need something to pull you back in. And this book just didn't have anything to pull me back in. Sadly, I'm so sorry to this woman, but we're fine. But I DNF'd it. So then I read Behind the Net. I have been super scared to read this one. I've heard some mixed reviews. I also do not like that they are in front of the net when it's called Behind the Net. This one, I think it's my... I didn't really enjoy the score, but now that it's kind of, past me, I think I actually like this one more. I think I actually enjoy this one more, and I think I gave it a lower score. Yeah, I gave it a 3.75, but I did actually enjoy this one more, so maybe I should switch it around, but whatever, it's fine. This one, it is about Jamie, and it is about, why can't I remember names? Pippa. This one is about Jamie, and it's about Pippa. Pippi? No, that's a different character. Pippa is a happy-go-lucky girl that, she's trying her best. She's trying to make her parents happy because her parents say that having a stable job is better than going after your dreams, because you don't get sad if a stable job doesn't work out. If your dreams don't work out, you get sad, but if a stable job doesn't work out, you're like, fuck it, I'll just get the next one. So she's kind of doing what her parents want her to do. And to get into this marketing job, she gets into the same company that her sister works for, which is a hockey team, and she has to be a personal assistant to Jamie, who is the goalie. Her job is basically taking care of the house, watering the plants, doing the dishes, the fun stuff, and taking care of the dog. You know it, and they know it. They don't say it to each other, but they went to high school together. He remembers her, she remembers him, but they never really interacted. He is the broody, grumpy, she is the talkative sunshine that babbles when she gets nervous. He repeats words when he gets nervous or unsure, and she takes it as him not liking her. It's a super fun dynamic. I loved seeing their story kind of unfold, but sadly it was the same in this one. I felt like part of the ending could have been an epilogue. That's the problem in a lot of these books. It feels like their pages could have been an epilogue, and that would have made me happy, but instead it feels like pages that I have to read, even though I feel like I have to read an epilogue as well. But yeah, I gave it a 3.75, but I think it's more like a 5-star. 5-star, no, it's a 4-star. I feel like this one is also more like a 4-star. I had fun, I enjoyed it. I'm very, very happy, very, very happy that I read this. I'm very happy that I finally gave it a chance, to the point where you're going to see it next week, I think. I actually got the next 2 books, and because I did my summer book haul, you get to see it in a book haul video. So spoiler alert, book haul video next week. That was it for me today. Thank you guys so much for spending some of your precious, precious time with me. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope this wasn't all over the place. I am in pain. I forgot to take my medicine. It's early, but I want to go to bed. Hopefully, my rambling didn't put you off, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.